Redfin finds crime is important and then decides not to put it on its website. We'll take a look. Good afternoon. So I did a video, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago. It made waves in the real estate industry, and it was related to putting crime statistics on a home listing portal. So like Redfin decided not to, and so they wrote a press release. They're very good at marketing. Realtor.com followed suit, and I don't know about anybody else, but it was an issue for about, I don't know, a day or two. Things go by so fast. But I kind of wanted to trace what I've found to be kind of their path and go over it. I think it's kind of strange. I don't think it's negative. I'm just pointing it out. If you want to see that episode of the Redfin not including their crime statistics, I'll put that in a card. You should see it somewhere on your screen now. Okay, now we're going to get into this article. It says 50% of homeowners who moved recently cited crime as an important factor. And this is out of a survey that they got. Redfin's very, very good about taking data and marketing it, using their data that they research for marketing. They're probably the best brokerage to do that in the country right now. So this is from October 29th, 2021. It says, crime and safety was the most commonly cited factor for homeowners deciding where to move. For renters, it was cost of living, with climate change at the bottom of the ranking. So I'm not going to read the whole article, but the top says half of all homeowners who moved since the pandemic began said that crime and safety was an important factor in determining where they moved. And 35% of renters said the same. Now, if you just look at the chart, almost 50% of the people said that this was a lot or the most important factor. Crime and safety. So there's something here, but Redfin was, asking the question, and they wanted to know, what other factors have contributed, and then so they have cost of living, school quality, taxes, climate change, and racial diversity. It said there are plenty of positive reasons to make a move, but sometimes people need to flee a place where they felt unsafe. Concerns with crime, especially among homeowners, contributed to a recent increase in migration out of cities and into more suburban and rural areas. Cities historically have been able to attract residents looking for high-paying jobs. But now that remote work is ubiquitous, some may have to work on improving safety and other quality of life factors to retain and attract residents. This might be an uphill battle because as wealthy residents leave, they take the tax dollars with them, leaving cities with less resources to address safety concerns for remaining residents. But I just wanted to go back over this. 50% of the people said that crime was a major factor or the most important factor in their decision to move. Well, that they made a decision. So, it says a lot. It's kind of fascinating if you look at this. I mean, a lot of people claim America is a very racist place, but it didn't show up in the numbers. It was way down, especially amongst renters. And that's something I'll get to in a little bit. But one of the other things they found is long distance movers were more likely to factor taxes and climate change into their decision. So a third, 32% of metro movers, which means you move from one metropolitan area to another, said that taxes were a major factor. And then climate change was a major factor for 24% of metro movers. So those people that have moved to different metros versus within the same metro, which I found kind of interesting. So this is what they put out. This was in October. And then in December, 2 months later, they write a policy that says neighborhood crime data doesn't belong on real estate sites. So the context of this is, if you can create a website, a user experience for home search that is better than everyone else's, in theory, you'll have the most people going to your website. You'll have the most views. And if you're a brokerage and you have the most views, you get the most sales, in theory, from this particular marketing channel. And so they're trying to create the best user experience, and they can. So when you go to my website, are you going to get the best user experience? No. You're going to get pictures, you're going to get some of the data, but you're not going to get anything like Redfin. And they spend millions of dollars a year on their product. I don't have $1 million to spend on mine, and so definitely not millions. But they said, we decided not to add neighborhood crime data to Redfin. We were considering this because we're very much focusing on answering all the questions people have when they're considering a home purchase. And we know that one of these questions is whether they'll feel safe in a given home or neighborhood. Their justification for it was the next part, is people are interested in safety, not crime. So they said, one big thing we learned through our research is that there's a real variety in how people define and evaluate safety, and that it doesn't line up very well with purely crime-based data. When we surveyed people about what they want to know about a neighborhood, they define safety in a number of different ways. People variously say they care about whether there's trash on the street, care solely about violent crime, or care whether they're going to frequently see people who are homeless. And then they go on to say that they don't feel that the crime data is accurate. And in my video, I agreed. I understand why you wouldn't put crime data on a real estate site at this time. But then I did look, and now in January, they did add new data and search features. And so I just wanted to point out that they did add data, and we'll go over that in my notes. So just starting out, if you have a report that says 50% of homeowners say crime and safety is the most important factor when they determine a move during the pandemic, that's important. Like, this should be a wake-up call to people in power that say, the people don't want crime anywhere. Take care of it. Fix the problem. Problem comes is, how do you fix these issues? Another issue is, it says 32% of Metro movers said taxes were a major factor. So if taxes are a major factor, perhaps bragging about high tax areas or things of that nature, tax policy, maybe that's something that we should be comparing and saying, hey, maybe we don't want to be the most taxed place. Maybe that's going to hurt people coming to our city. And then 24% of Metro movers saying that climate change was a major factor. And I don't understand how this works. And I'm just putting it out there. By moving, are you helping climate change? So like, if you move closer to your job to avoid a commute, or what? Like, what is it about climate change that you're doing? How are you solving climate change by moving? So, so then it goes in, Redfin is sitting around all day, and they ask the question, if we know that people are influenced to move based on crime, should we add crime statistics to our website? And they decide no. And I do think it's a principled stand for the most part. I have a light quibble with the definition of safety, including crime. But that means, look, if Redfin isn't going to spend any time on this, who will? Crime statistics are all over the place. And we know that this is a major consideration for people in choosing where to live. So I've looked at crime websites, and they're not good. Because this is my belief. A crime website shows crime that happened at a point of time in the past. It doesn't really look for the potential for more crime to happen. You can say that because a crime had happened in one place, that it could happen again anytime soon. But that leaves out the question of things like domestic violence. It leaves out the things like theft. You never know. If a house has been robbed once, you don't know if it's going to be robbed again, or even if the percentages are greater, that it's going to happen. So I understand Redfin's point, but you would think that if we can put a man on the moon, we can do all these wonderful things, that we could come up with some sort of understanding about how to measure crime, and how to maybe even predict, where areas are that are seeing heavy amounts of crime, or will see in the future. It's important to note that Redfin did add information to their home search website. And so 42% said the cost of living was one of their more important reasons for moving. They did not add that to the website. There was no comparison to the cost of living. And I would think that would be fairly easy to do for a company like Redfin. I mean, at times I feel like St. Louis has a low cost of living, but then when I look at our property taxes, it's higher than other places in the country that's considered, a high tax area. So, which is it, and how do we make those? How do we make those comparisons? Because it is important to the people that were surveyed. Another one is school quality. They did improve their school quality things on their website. 24% taxes. They did not do a comparison of the taxes. 19% said climate change, and they did, but it was in sort of a weird way. And let me show you how they did it. It's set up like this: fire, heat, drought, and storm. So the idea that climate change is influencing, causing more storms, more droughts, more fires, and more heat, that's still debatable. Like, wildfires are a very debatable topic, and why they're happening as frequently as they are. I mean, it's very fascinating how they look at climate change. And then 19% racial diversity. They didn't do anything with that. They didn't add any demographics. And if they were to add demographics, I believe they'd just be sued out of the planet. So I think that's the reason why that wasn't put on there. So one of the final things is that in the survey it says renters care less about taxes, and I think that's because they perceive that they aren't paying the taxes and that the owner pays the taxes, and so they don't care. But that tax adds cost to the rent, and so they should care. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. It'd be interesting to note the age of the people that were doing the moving. I suspect that if you broke it down by age, you'd get different numbers. So anyway, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, you can see what Redfin's doing. I mean, they're trying to create this product that everyone wants to go see, and they've had to tiptoe around some things. But something's going to have to be done about reporting of crime and understanding crime. It's like a hidden thing, and here's how it affects me. My clients will say, "I want to move to a safe part of town." Well, safe is a subjective word. I don't know where a safe part of town is. I know places where I wouldn't live personally, but I'm not going to paint the whole city or the whole county or parts of it as places that are dangerous when I don't have any idea. I mean, I'm not looking at the crime statistics. There's certain places I go and certain places I don't. And so buyers are looking for this information. Buyers should be able to go to a website and find this information, but we should be able to have some sort of national standard for crime. In the county, if you look at the reporting, some municipalities choose to report on the county site. Some don't. So you never really get a full picture. That's what I have for you today. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to say, put it in the comment section below. And, I haven't had a subscriber since January 4th of 2022. It'd be really, really nice to get a few subscribers. I don't ask very often, but today I thought I would on YouTube. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one.